Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Friday. I hope you're all doing good, or at least as good as you can be. If you love the Second Amendment, if you love your guns, and if you love the idea of a country actually existing, named the United States of America, it's pretty hard to be in a good mood, isn't it? Well, like I said in my video early this morning, when I was the first person on all of YouTube to break the news, this channel right here reported it when it was still dark out. It was so early in the morning that all of the NFA repeal provisions of the budget bill, the budget reconciliation, so-called One Big Beautiful Bill, which includes the Hearing Protection Act and the Short Act, those were stripped out of the bill by the Senate parliamentarian. Yeah. You know, I was talking to my wife earlier, and I'm like, look, it wouldn't make it any better. It really wouldn't. But it would make it a little less worse if their title was just called the Senate Rulemaker or whatever. Parliamentarian? Just think about that for a minute. Think about the United States of America. Because here in America, we have a Constitution. And in the Constitution, it literally says so itself, that it's the supreme law of the land. And the second time it was amended, 1789, ratified in 1791, it says, a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, shall not be infringed. That's the law of the land, period. End of story. You know, we shouldn't even be discussing this right now. I don't even know why I'm more furious right now that the Senate parliamentarian has just shot down. As of right now, it's shot down our best chance of repealing much of the NFA in the last 91 years. I don't know if that's got me more mad or that we should even have to talk about this. Because, see, look, there shouldn't even have to be a 2A Edu channel. Here in America, if there was even one gun control law, if they would even think about one, that could be completely abhorrent. Remember, as early Supreme Court precedent, Marbury v. Madison said, all laws that are repugnant to the Constitution, those are void. They're null and void. And why do we have this Constitution? Why do we have the Bill of Rights? Why do we remember the Founding Fathers? Because trust me, only the victors get to write the history books, and all history is indeed revisionist history. For some reason, it's always the good guys that win the wars. You ever notice that? Well, yeah, obviously, because they got to write the history books. So, of course, they're the good guys. No. 1775. And this is just what sucks so bad. Here, in just about a week, is July 4th, Independence Day. It celebrates when the Declaration of Independence was signed, July 4th, 1776. Now, a little more than a year earlier, the shot heard around the world. Massachusetts, Lexington Green, Concord Bridge. It kicked it off. Revolutionary War was started. About a dozen years later, it ended. And supposedly the United States of America won. Why? Because they rejected the King of England and they rejected the British Parliament. And here in America, we're not supposed to be ruled by any parliament. Remember Ben Franklin's very early quote when he was asked by a woman, right after the country was formed, the First Continental Congress had just been formed. He was asked, what do we have, sir? A monarchy or a republic? Well, he said a republic, if you can keep it. Yeah, it's true. Did we keep it? You tell me. I can see a very strong argument for no, of course not, because we're literally sitting here right now, June 27th, 2025, being ruled with an iron fist by a parliamentarian. See, we fought Parliament, and we supposedly won. And the United States has sent all these people off to war, endless wars, more and more war all the time. to try to make all these other countries free. In the meantime, nobody ever sat back in this country and thought about themselves. See, I care about the United States of America as far as what it should be, what it used to be, or at the very least, what it ought to be. And we sit here right now, gleefully getting ready to celebrate Independence Day. I know many of you do, and I hope that you will. But at the same time, independence from what? From the parliament? Because you see, I thought Donald Trump was the president. I thought that we had our duly elected United States senators and our duly elected United States representatives. And I thought that here in America, the Congress makes law, didn't you? But no, we sit here under the parliamentarian, the current king of the United States, apparently, named Elizabeth McDonough, I think. I don't even want to take the time to learn how to pronounce her name. I haven't even looked it up to see how to pronounce it. Elizabeth McDonough. That's who you rule under right now. You rule under this woman, under her fist, apparently. But you know what? She's not the only one to blame. Because you've got people like Spineless, John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, the Republican, the top Republican in the United States Senate. Remember the last elections? Everybody said, we won. We won the elections. But who is we, though? No. This is why I reject this two-party system. This is why it is two sides of the same coin at the end of the day. And while I love my libertarian friends, I'm not a libertarian either. I reject all of these systems and all of these parties. All I want is my natural God-given rights. I want a few good friends, a few good people to love. I want my guns and my liberty and freedom, and you can all keep the change. I want this to be exactly like it was supposed to be when this country was founded. Nice and simple, a very limited government. Just leave me the hell alone and I'll be just fine. But instead, we find the jackboot of Elizabeth McDonough on our necks, somehow saying, now this is one of those things that literally requires the listener to be dumber than the speaker. And it truly does. Saying with absolute certainty, with a straight face, other than the little snicker she has, plebes, pay the tax on your tea. Besides all that, with a perfectly straight face, saying that the National Firearms Act items, which require a tax stamp, are not tax related, not finance related. No, it's literally called a tax stamp. And it literally says $200 on it, or $5 on it, if it's in a certain type of AOW stamp. Just think about this. We're literally living in a society right now. Look, I'm just going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to try to be very polite tonight, but I'm not going to be filtered about these people. These people are repulsive, and this is why it's the DC swamp. And this is why I'm getting to the point more and more, and let me know if anyone else agrees, where I just reject all of these political systems we have, because they're all contrary to natural rights. You're sitting here right now, and they're literally pissing on you and trying to tell you it's raining, and saying that a tax stamp is not a tax. Think about that for a minute. And something with literally a $sign on it and real number, numerical digits behind it, has nothing to do with finances, has nothing to do with money whatsoever. Now, shortly after the NFA was put into law, and when it was put into law, they said, look, we can't just ban these items because that would go against the Second Amendment, obviously. So instead, we'll make it a tax. And the constitutional argument will be that, well, the Constitution says Congress does have the power to levy taxes. So as a way to get around the Constitution in 1934, and you can look at the deliberations and things that were said right around that time when they were voting on it, they said, no. If we just simply ban the silencer, the machine gun, any other weapon, the short-barreled rifle, the short-barreled shotgun, the destructive device, If we just out and out ban it, that would be unconstitutional, and it will no doubt get struck down. So we're going to make it a tax. Just about 3 years later, Supreme Court case in 1937 decided on this matter and said if it was gun control, we'd strike it down. Okay? We'd strike it down, but it's a tax. So that's why it's allowed to stay. So the crooked government for the last 90 years has said this can stay because it's a tax, and now the same crooked government just giving you one right in the teeth, if you think about it, saying, well, now it can't leave because it's not a tax. Excuse me? Think about this. How can it be a tax? And that's why it's been allowed to stand this whole time, which I reject that very premise. But I'm just saying, that's why they've said, whoever they even are, what country really even runs this country? We're so worried about Iran and Israel and Ukraine and all this. It makes you wonder about a lot of things. But whoever they even are that truly runs all this, they said that for 90 years this could stand because it was a tax. And now that the Republicans either tried to, or maybe a little more accurately, if I can be a little more sinister right now, maybe just pretended, because maybe they were just pretending this whole time, pretended that they were going to try to get rid of. Now they say you can't get rid of the tax because it's not a tax. That's literally being said to you right now. And here's the real problem, though. It literally assumes that the listener is dumber than the speaker. And here's the sad part. It might actually be true. Now, not all of you. Shout out to all the awesome people in the chat. I can see from the chats right now, my viewers get it. You guys are very smart, but just think about we the people collectively. Are the American people stupid enough to actually buy this? I don't know. I'd like you to enlighten me if you have an answer, but here we are. So we're going to discuss that and get into that tonight. If you guys want to watch a more concise video, I literally recorded an 8-minute video. It was uploaded before 6 a.m. today. Literally before it was light out. I had that updated. I was literally the first person on all of YouTube to report it. Maybe I reported it too early because I've had friends texting me all day saying, hey, did you hear about the... I'm like, yeah, go to my favorite YouTube channel called 2AEDU and you'll see he posted the video 12 hours ago. But I digress if you just want to watch a short video. This is a long format live stream. It lasts about 2 hours usually on average. So if you can't handle that, don't watch. But for everybody else, good to have you here live. And a big shout out to the replay crew. I look forward to seeing all of you in the comments. Also, this is other breaking news right now that's going to affect a lot of people. And I'm going to try to get a video out soon on that. Keep in mind, I'm like sweating to death trying to work. It's been raining every day. It's crazy, man. Yeah, Serbia has banned arms exports. This is going to affect major segments of the American market like Zastava, PPU, Belome, and many others. Look, a lot of you like some of the stuff from there. If you do, I was just looking out for all of you. Check out my most recent locals post, and you might have to scroll this a little bit down in the old X feed. Make sure you're following 2AEDU on X. I let you guys know about that as well. And you guys might want to look at those posts because there's stuff that's still available that might not be for too much longer. I don't know. We're going to touch on that a little bit tonight as well. Also, the Michigan Senate has just passed a whole slew of radical gun control bills. Will they pass the Michigan House? I don't know. How much do you trust those Republicans and the Speaker of the House in Michigan that voted for gun control last session? I don't know. You'd probably trust him about as much as John Thune. Trust them about as far as you could throw them, and you couldn't even throw these people. You wouldn't want to even get near them. So we'll talk about that as well. And then, but wait, there's more. I feel like this is an infomercial. The only thing is, I'm not making the money an infomercial is. So if you leave a super chat now, we'll definitely read it. But no, it's literally like it's an infomercial. But wait, there's more. You've got Pam Bondi. This channel's been very critical of her. Trust me. She's out there touting in front of the Senate saying that they're going to merge the ATF and the DEA. You kidding me right now? Dude, that's insane. That might be like the worst news of everything going on. Actually, it's like crazy because the DEA is like 10 times more powerful than ATF, has 10 times more guns, more SWAT, more everything you could think about that a jackboot would need to violate your natural right to keep and bear arms. And whereas right now, Blondie, we call her, they call her many things, she's saying, look, we're not going to be coming into your house for your guns. Yeah. And you think the Republicans are going to be in charge forever? Here's my prediction. I made a lot of predictions on this channel, and unfortunately, they almost always come true. One of mine was, and we'll get to that in a little bit, yeah, the parliamentarian's going to come into this. Now, I got some pushback. People said, well, there's this other YouTuber out there that says the parliamentarian ain't going to do nothing. Yeah, well, whatever. That's why we have this channel, and other people have their channels. But no, I was right on that too. And the other thing, this ATF DEA merger, yeah, this is not going to be good whatsoever. And I predicted it a long time ago. I said we have to watch out for Pam Bondi. Now, she's going to do certain things that are pro-Second Amendment. There's certain things she's doing that are kind of good. She'll talk some certain talk, and all these people will talk some certain talk. But trust me, even the devil knows scripture, and he actually knows it very, very well. Keep in mind, the devil believes in God and trembles at the thought. Oh, these people all know. Don't think they don't know for 1 minute. They know all kinds of things. So, look, I was going to say, dude, guys, I'm not trying to be black-pilled right now, but I don't want to lie to you. It's actually probably the most tempting thing, to be honest. Now, I'm going to give you guys some solutions, some updates on the HPA and the short act, some things you can do to try to fight back. Another thing to do is put up your Jolly Roger, become ungovernable, and say, no, just like the left does. Just F you, I won't do what you tell me. Because it's just getting to the point where they just try to ambush you with so much stuff at once that your head spins. And to the point, it's like, you know what? And here's something I'm going to predict. Bondi says, well, under our administration, if we merge these, don't worry, ain't nobody coming into your house snooping around. Remember Brian Malinowski? Does anyone remember Randy Weaver? That's why the Short Act needs to pass. Randy Weaver cut off a couple inches off a shotgun barrel. Government thug assassin murdered his wife holding their newborn baby. Yeah, that's the United States government. We can go back further to Wounded Knee. We can look at the so-called Branch Davidians, Waco, Texas, David Koresh. We can look at so many things. And here's my other prediction. If they don't get their butts in gear right now, there's a couple things that can be done to rectify this situation with this parliamentarian. The Republicans are going to lose massively. And they're going to deserve to lose massively. And this might get some of my viewers mad, so make sure you hit the thumbs up if you do enjoy this channel. Because I'm just trying to tell you the truth. And by the way, I hope they do lose massively if they can't get their butt straight. I mean, what do you have to look forward to? The trifecta? Oh, wait. A Republican president? Check. We all went out there and voted our butts off, and that happened, didn't we? We all went out and voted our butts off and got a Republican-controlled Senate. We did, right? Yeah. And then we literally voted our butts off and got a Republican-controlled United States House of Representatives, the ones that campaign as being pro-Second Amendment. If you can't get this repealed under this, you're never, ever going to get it repealed. You're never going to get the NFA portions repealed if you can't get it during what's called a trifecta. And I know all about these trifectas on the other side because I live in a state called Michigan, becoming one of the most despotic, tyrannical states in this whole country. Oh, it's fighting tooth and nail with places like California and New York and all these other places. And God bless all of you who live in these places. Many good people live in these places. but many not so good people. And it's just racing to become one of the worst states in this whole country for the Second Amendment, so many other things. And in the last session, the Democrats had the trifecta, and they said, you put us in charge. Voting, not voting, you know the whole thing. He was a Republican his whole life until the day he died. Now he's been doing nothing but vote Democrat. And there was the Dominion. Look, guys, there was all kinds of stuff that happened. I never said any of this was fair. I never said we're on an even playing field. And trust me, I already know this isn't a fair fight. Of course it's not a fair fight. If people don't know that stuff's rigged by now, they need to pull their head out of their you-know-what. But despite all of that, the Democrats won the trifecta in Michigan, overtaking for the first time in 40 years the Michigan House and Senate, with Gretchen Whitmer, one of the biggest despots in all of government, being the governor. And they said, we're going to ban your guns if you put us in power. And they did. And they did. And we're living under that now. And we're still under threat of it with the Republicans controlling one of the chambers right now. And then the Republicans said, if you put us in, we're going to repeal gun control. And they haven't. And the way it's looking right now, and they won't. Now, there might be some chances, and I'm hoping there are. But things are not looking good right now. I'm not telling you guys what to do because you wouldn't listen to me anyways, but why would anybody that's a Second Amendment absolutist, a single issue voter, which I am, why would you ever even go vote again? When the Republicans in your own Michigan House, now not every last rep, a lot of the reps are good people and good 2A fighters, but the leadership. See, I'm still waiting for Committee Chairman Sarah Leitner and the Michigan Judiciary Committee to hold a hearing on red flag repeal. Speaker of the House, Matt Hall, I'm waiting. Come on, man. What are you waiting for? We put you guys in charge. What are you going to do? But when I see, oh, wow, we got out and worked our butts off and turned the tide, and now it's Republicans in charge, and they do nothing on the state level. Right now, they're not doing very good on the federal level either. What would you go vote for? Why would you ever even want to vote again? My prediction is if they can't figure this crap out right now in the next couple days, with somehow either firing or overruling this so-called parliamentarian, they call it a bird bath. Yeah, it's going to be a bath, all right, in the next elections, when the Democrats are going to sweep everything. And they're actually going to deserve to win. Now, look, guys, I'm not a Democrat. I find them completely repulsive in every way. But I'm a single issue voter, and I care about many, many issues. I care about many things. But when it comes time to vote, I'm going to vote on who's best, who has the best interest of the Second Amendment in mind, and who's actually going to defend it. And if the answer is neither and none of these SOBs, then why the heck would I even go to vote? Why would you go to vote? Why would you even care anymore? Wouldn't it be more fun just to sit there and dig a hole and put your head in the sand? Why would you want to waste gas money to go to the polls? Why would you want to waste the lead in your pencil to even fill out that mail-in ballot? I don't know. Maybe you would, but I predict there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to tap out. And oh yeah, things will get a lot worse if the Democrats take everything. Before anyone even types it, oh yeah, they'll get much, much worse. But at the same time, it's like when the Republicans do nothing. When Republicans do nothing, it just takes all the wind out of the sails. You lose all of your steam. And yeah, there's a couple chances left. There's a couple chances left to still get this NFA repeal stuff through. There's going to be a so-called compromise on the table, which is BS, that I completely and utterly reject. So we're going to get into all that. Before we do, though, I want to thank all of you for the many ways you help support the channel. Thank you to my YouTube channel members who are here in the chat. Shout out to all of you. I appreciate all of your support. This is a very small grassroots channel, guys. I'm not doing any ad reads. The sponsors are literally all of you who financially contribute. So thank you. Also, whoever leaves a super chat tonight. I saw I have a couple already. I'm going to read in 1 second. Thank you. I will read and answer those. And if we hit 10 tonight, I'll do just a general viewer Q&A after I'm done talking about these topics. Also, thank you to my Patreon supporters as well as my local supporters. Locals is a different site, censorship free. I do bonus live streams, bonus other content. Awesome deals on stuff, even from Serbia, that you might want to really look into right now if something's been on your wish list, things like that. Make sure you check out there. It's a place you can support or join for free. Also, check out 2A Edu on X. Marco Polo came in right away, channel member and a super chat, says, keep the faith. Oh, dude, I'm trying to keep the faith, man. And I do have faith in God, number one. I also really, really enjoy getting to hang out with good people tonight. Look, I still like all of you. You know what I mean? It's like you love your country, but you hate your government, right? I'm sure a couple of you are thinking that right now. So heck yeah, man. Mateo just came in with a super chat and a channel member. Well, thank you, Mateo. I appreciate you supporting the channel. And Bill Camperus just came in with a generous $20 super chat. Well, thank you, Bill. I don't see any text that went along with it, but I do appreciate the donation. And yeah, man, I literally forgo work, guys, to get this stuff out there. So I appreciate all of you who helps out, and I just appreciate getting to hang out with you all. So here's the deal. You probably already watched my video this morning or didn't, because a lot of people are like, 2A Edu, did you know about this? Well, yeah. Pursuant to this Byrd rule, this is Senator Byrd. High leadership in the group that starts with a K and ends in a K. Has a K in the middle. The longtime Democrat, a stalwart of the Senate. This man was looked up to as pretty close to deity. Hillary Clinton gave a eulogy at his funeral. So did the former Vice President Biden. Well, he started a thing back in the 90s. I think it officially went into effect around 2000 that said that for budget reconciliation bills, which only require a 51 vote threshold, otherwise known as a simple majority, they have to be germane to the topic of a budget. So they have to deal with your finances, money, taxes. That's an easy way just to sum it up, right? So in other words, you literally couldn't put all these special interest bills in. Now you can put in whatever bills you want as a senator, but those would now have to meet the standard rules of the Senate, which is subject to what's called a filibuster, which requires a super majority vote of 60 votes to what's called evoke cloture, meaning to end debate and then put them to a final vote. So in other words, there's two types of filibusters. A senator can stand up there and talk for a long time. Some of you may remember the stand with Rand, when Rand Paul spoke for a long time. Some of you might be old enough to remember Strom Thurmond, who stood up and did an epic old-fashioned filibuster trying to stop the Civil Rights Act. The other type of filibuster is just procedural, saying, look, if you don't have the 60 votes, it ain't going to go through. And then it just kills the bill right there. Budget reconciliation, you can pass by a simple majority. Another way to word it is along party lines. Because look, these are gangs here. This is red versus blue. For the party, for the party, for the party. And they're so busy fundraising. They're so busy trying to get reelected. They're so busy trying to be powerful. Because remember, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. They're so worried about all that they worry about party over the actual country. And so many of them care more about party lines than they do the actual Constitution. And there's not much time left for most of these on the Capitol Hill to care about regular people just like you and just like me. But with the Republican trifecta, just think about that. And will somebody please help me, whether you're watching on the replay or live in the chat? Explain to me what this means. Because I used to kind of get it, and now I have no clue. What does it mean when all my friends say, not all my friends, but most of my friends say stuff like, we won, we got this, we're in charge now. Who is we? And I'm not even being sarcastic like you might think I am. I'm seriously asking you. I try to give you guys a lot of knowledge and advice. Please help me figure this out. Who is we, though? Like, am I a traitor and you guys don't want to be my friend no more? If I want to reject the fact and say, I'm not part of that we. Are you kidding me? That's them. These are the people that hate the Constitution, whether they have an R in front of their name or a D. But everybody told me, and everyone was so excited. And look, there's many other issues that don't have to do with the Second Amendment that you should be very excited for, okay? But look, I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. I'm a single issue voter, and that's what this channel is dedicated to. That, and I did rip on Juneteenth because that's just garbage, and we need to repeal the 19th Amendment. But besides that, I really, really want to focus just on the Second Amendment here. And I'm like, but who is we, though? And I know some of you are helping me answer right now, and I do appreciate it. And that does help me, Buddha 155. It's not a direct answer, but I do appreciate that answer. Says, we is not us. Well, that's good, because before you can find out what it is, you have to know what it's not, right? Now, I know who we are. Like, we're friends and we're hanging out. Like, I know who you guys are for the most part, although some of you vehemently disagree with me and are probably unsubbing and hitting the thumbs down right now, but they'll be back. Don't worry. They'll be back to hang out with us. Because they're like, what? You're not part of Team Red? You're not we? No, I think the Republican Party is despicable nowadays. There, I just said it. There are some good ones that are Republicans. Okay? Look, I've had personal phone calls with my state senator, Joe Bellino, this week. He gave a heck of a speech on the Michigan House floor. I like him. He's a good dude. He's awesome on the 2A. I was also literally on the phone this week, I think twice, with my good friend and my state representative, Jamie Thompson. She's a Republican. She's a good person. Don't mistake that I hate everyone that happens to be a Republican. That's not true. That's not what I'm saying. It's just that whole, like, we won the trifecta. All right, back to that again. We won the trifecta. So there's a budget bill up right now. There's more than 51 Republican votes. There's more than 51 of we there that can vote for the 2A that they all claim to support. So it should be able to pass the Senate. The House, very narrow Republican majority, did pass. Not the complete version, not Section 3. Don't even get me started. If what's in the bills right now pass, it actually makes silencers illegal for most people in the state of Michigan and 16 other states. See, we forgot about all that. That's a whole nother issue that's like really, really going to mess up and make it like a third of the country. It's more illegal to own a suppressor after this would pass than it was before. Don't forget that either. But look, there's so much. I'm getting scatterbrained. Let me back up. The House passes Hearing Protection Act, Section 2. All right. Not only has Trump said he'd sign it. Now, you guys haven't heard me bag on Trump lately. I will if I need to, but I don't want to right now. Because actually, as much as we've ripped on him for promoting red flag laws, all right, as much as we ripped on him for the bump stock ban, and we should do that, and that's fine, but hey, new term, let's give him another chance. Trump, of all things, out of left field, which is like good. Look, I'm going to give Trump a shout out right now on this, okay, because it's true. The White House and Trump just put up on the website their priorities of what they want passed in this one big, beautiful bill, and they actually put the NFA repeal on there. So this has gone from Trump just saying, yeah, I'll sign it, I guess, if it's in front of me, to now Trump's promoting it and literally saying, like, this Hearing Protection Act and Short Act are among the key top list of agenda that I need to get through here. So it's not only that Trump will sign it, he's saying that he wants to sign it and needs to sign it. That's good news. But we're sitting there with this parliamentarian. If you didn't watch the intro to this video, I just went on an epic rant about her right off the rip. How literally this is insane. She puts in a suggestion, it's called. But here's the thing with the precedent and the way the Senate's been handling this, it's a lot more than just a precedent, or a suggestion, rather. This is basically like, it's almost unprecedented to overturn her. I say almost. Because in 1975 is the last time she was out and out, he or she, it was probably a he back then. 1975, the parliamentarian, was overruled by Vice President Rockefeller. Okay? You ever heard of Vice President Rockefeller? Ford's vice president. Overturned the decision of the parliamentarian and proceeded on and ignored the suggestion. In 2001, then Senate Majority Leader Trent Lott fired the parliamentarian. Now, there is a difference between the two. I know somebody earlier left a comment, and it's like, well, that's why I'm here, to try to give you guys the best info I can. Am I perfect? No, but I do try to do a lot of research. Probably do too much research, to be honest, because usually stupid crap is what always prevails on the internet. But no, 2001 wasn't the last time it was overturned. That's the last time the parliamentarian was fired. There's a couple things that could go on right now. Really, there's about 4 possible solutions. My prediction is most likely we're going to get screwed. We're going to get boned. You're going to get the full shaft, no lube. That's my prediction. But please do not be so narrow-minded as to mistake that for that's what I want. Look, I don't believe in manifest destiny. I do believe in prayer. That's totally different. But I don't believe in just because I say it, it's going to become true just because I said it. I don't believe in that. I know some of you do. Go on with it, whatever. But look, just because I say I think we're just going to get the full shaft, the full tip, as people say, we're going to get all of it. That's what I think is going to happen. But I hope I'm wrong, and that's not what I want. I want to win. I want all of these NFA provisions to get repealed. That's what I want. But what I want and what I predict are 2 different things. So that's one scenario. That's probably your worst case scenario. Maybe your second worst. It just depends how you want to look at it. Here's the best case scenario. Majority Leader John Thune could get his butt together real quick here, because he's still come out just as recently as yesterday. He's doubling down. He's standing strong. These aren't strong men. Yeah, right. Yeah, strong men make good times. Good times make weak men. People had such a good life in this country for so long, we have a bunch of weakling sissies running this country. I'm going to say it. But he's standing strong, the little weakling, pathetic wuss that he is. John Thune, he's afraid of this parliamentarian. Give me a break. If I was the Senate Majority Leader, I wouldn't even have to think about it. You're gone. You're fired. Get out. Bring in my own guy. Because you know what? That's what the Democrats do. And that's what they're always going to do. See, people like John Thune are going to cling to this whole, if I keep all of this, history and tradition, and we can't upset the apple cart. These people are afraid of their own shadow. What's wrong with we the people for being run by this tyrannical government? I don't know. That's a whole nother story. But he's like, not the parliamentarian. If I mess up, we might never win again. Do you know how many people are never going to vote again in this country if you guys screw this up? Now, I'm not encouraging people not to vote. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of people that are never going to vote again if they screw this up. But whatever. He's scared of the parliamentarian. But trust me, when the Democrats get control again, they'll fire your guy as quick as they possibly can. That's just the way this works. And that is the problem. That is the problem. Good times make weak men. And we have a shortage of weak men in this country. People that are afraid to just say it how it is, and to stand up for themselves, and to stand up for this country, and to stand up for the Second Amendment. In fact, most of these gun tubers are a bunch of cucks that are afraid to even do a video. And if they do, they just tell their viewers what they want to hear to try to get more subs and get more whatever. I don't know who's bigger wusses. Most of the people in the gun influencer sphere out there, they just do all their videos and they're just going to sit there and steal all the silverware on the Titanic as it's sinking. Well, they won't dare ever stand up for the Second Amendment. I don't know who's more of a female dog, them or this Senator Thune right now. I don't know. Maybe you can help me figure that out too. I'm not black-pilled. I'm just all about calling out people that are weak, feckless, and people that suck tonight. And I'm tired of weak people, and I'm tired of stupid people. But Senator Thune's sitting there. He's like, I can't overrule the parliamentarian. That would be akin to this and that, and that'd be the worst thing that ever. It's like, listen to yourself, you fool. Here in America, you're letting yourself and all of us be run by a parliamentarian when we're getting ready to celebrate Independence Day? Just think about that for a minute. Somebody was on here the other day being like, well, so-and-so claims that they're the undisputed grand champion of whatever, and that the The Byrd rule in the Senate parliamentarian isn't even a worry. Oh, really? Well, don't listen to me because I don't have all those fancy credentials. But I was right. No, it's not even funny. It's funny insofar as that. But no, this topic isn't funny. It's sad. It would be funny, actually, if it wasn't so sad. You can call and write John Thune all you want. And if that's what you want to do, go for it. Because I really appreciate the First Amendment. And that is your natural right, protected by the First Amendment, to petition your government for a redress of grievance. So Thune away, Thune, and Thune some more. Write him, call him, carry your pigeon smoke signal. That's great if that's what you're into. And actually, you should call him, but don't make that your first call. Don't make that your first tweet. I'm actually going to emphasize tweet over call right now because this is so urgent. I think the one that needs to be focused on, if you want to focus on something, focus on Vice President J.D. Vance. Now, look, I don't know if we can trust him or not. I have no idea. I just know that John Thune's still standing as of right now saying that he's going to not overrule this parliamentarian. Maybe he has a crush on her. I don't know. Who knows what these people are into? Look, this is a sick place. These political halls are some of the most perverse, sick places in the world. It reminds you of reading about places like Sodom and Gomorrah, actually. Maybe one day they'll be turned into pillars of salt, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see. But while we're here, we need to fight like hell and make sure this never becomes a communist country. But look, J.D. Vance is actually above Senator Thune. He presides over the Senate. J.D. Vance is the president of the Senate. He can come in for a tie-breaking vote. He can also the parliamentarian. He can also overrule the parliamentarian. In 1975, Vice President Rockefeller overruled the parliamentarian. J.D. Vance can do it so fast, you wouldn't even have to think about it. See, I believe J.D. Vance is going to run for president in 2028. What do you guys think about that? I think he's going to run for president. And I think right off the gate, he'll probably be considered the front runner. J.D. Vance right now has the chance to make literally a power move. How do the young people say it? How do the young people say it? Help me out, Raw77, if you're watching. What do the young folks say? J.D. Vance has the ability to become Ultra Giga Chad. Did I say that right? See, I'm pretty cool for my age, guys. Come on now. This is a hip channel. J.D. Vance can become Ultra Mega Giga Chad if he comes in and just lays the smackdown and says, no, I'm a Second Amendment supporter. While you're over here pussyfooting in your milk, Thune, at all these other ones, Daddy wants this bill signed. And I'm here. I'm the new sheriff in town. Parliamentarian, you're overruled right now. I don't know. I think so look, if you want to email Thune. He's dragging his feet. He appears to be set in his ways. I believe he's the epitome of the swamp. Now keep in mind, Vance could just come in and make all of our threats end instantly. That fast. He could also put pressure on Thune, because this is how this really works in the back rooms. He could say, listen here, little Thuney boy. Johnny boy, here's the thing. You're talking to a United States Marine, and I do support the Second Amendment. And by the way, I'm the president of the Senate, little female dog boy. You'll get out there, and you'll put this little parliamentarian in her place. Her husband's hungry. Send her home to make him a sandwich and override this crap. If not, I will. Could you imagine if J.D. Vance, now I'm not saying this is going to happen, but that's who you should be pressuring right now. I would tweet him like crazy on X, by the way. Okay, literally. Get up there. Could you imagine Thune sitting there dragging his feet? Oh, gosh. That's how these people are, too. They're like, oh, geez. The parliamentarian, like they watched some cheesy 1950s black and white horror movie. It's like, yeah, right. No, that's the problem. Why are all these men letting women run this crap too? That's a whole nother issue. See if you can help me figure that out, chat. She should be at home making her husband some dinner. But Vance gets up there and he's like, you know what? Hand me that gavel, Thune. I'm going to preside. No more president tempore, pro tem. No more president pro tem, meaning temporary president. Give me the gavel. And the man himself actually walks up there and says, huh? Me, J.D. Vance, hereby presiding over the Senate with the powers invested in me, however he has to say it. Parliamentarian, you're overruled. Parliamentarian, you're overruled again. Do you guys remember Pohutsky? Now think about this. This shows you the times we live in right now. And whether I ask you guys, are more of you guys red pill right now or black pill? Because this is BS. Do you remember Lori Pohutsky? She's the gavel lady in the Michigan House of Representatives. Because like I said earlier, when the Democrats have the trifecta, they mean it. Oh, she sat there in the middle of the night. Abraham Ayash, the majority floor leader. You know, broken English like an auctioneer. And she sat there. Boy, her looks really went downhill too. She went in there and it's like, she's not much to look at. Now it's like, whoa. Like, this is bad for these people. It's not a good look. Not a good looking woman. But she sat there and just smacked that gavel. She did it. These scorned women will do it. These scorned women with a gavel will ruin your life. Man, I'm hoping so bad. I'm hoping we can give him the peer pressure to know the American people are behind him. I'm hoping J.D. Vance can man up and just get up there and be like, give me that gavel. Get this woman out of my hair. That's what he can do. I'm being serious. They have to run around and be all politically correct. Look, that's why I'm not a politician. I'm not politically correct. I mean, J.D. Vance right now literally has the chance to be like I said, to be epic. To be epic, because right now a lot of 2A voters are just sitting there kind of like, am I going to ever vote again? I would get a hold of J.D. Vance. And I've watched enough podcasts where he's been a guest. Look, you can almost guarantee he's not going to read your individual tweet. I get it. He won't read mine. I don't claim to have any of these people's phone numbers. I don't know anybody. But like, if enough people do, I know J.D. Vance looks at his Twitter, I think is the main one that he does, but he looks at his phone enough. He knows what the temperature of his social media is. He starts getting thousands, tens of thousands. He starts getting his phone blowing up, as they say. Whew. That's a way to get his attention. You call his office, you're going to get a hold of his staff. They'll relay the message too, you know. And look, if you want to also call Thune, call Thune. I'm not telling you it's bad to call Thune. It's just he seems to be dragging his feet. And I don't know why, but a lot of people have been seeming to put emphasis on you have to get a hold of Thune. Thune's the only one that can actually do this. That's not true. That's not true. Vice President Rockefeller overruled the parliamentarian, 1975. Whoever holds the gavel in any Senate session is the president of the Senate pro tem, which roughly, again, Latin words, right? Go figure. We speak Latin in this country. We have a parliament. I mean, this is like really goofy, but it's the truth, right? They're the temporary president. They're the temporary presiding officer. J.D. Vance is, the moment he walks into the chamber, he's the presiding officer. He's the boss. Do I think JD will do it? Statistically, if I was just going to put numbers to it, probably not. But he might. He might. Because there has been a big push just in the last week, and even spiking just in the last 12 hours. A lot of Republicans are getting ticked off. A lot of Republican voters. And a lot of Republicans now on Capitol Hill. And they're calling for the firing of or the overruling of the Senate parliamentarian. Trump has yet to come out and say it, but Trump's sitting back watching this. Now, I think we're up to 17 major portions. Up to 17 major portions of the so-called one big beautiful bill, the budget bill, have been struck by this parliamentarian. She's going crazy right now. Not even trying to have a veil of bipartisanship or nonpartisanship. That's the correct word. She's supposed to be nonpartisan. Yeah, right. Put in by Harry Reid when he was in charge of the Senate, when Barack Obama was president, when the former vice president was the vice president. Just think about this for a minute. That former vice president that was just occupying the White House for 4 years. Yeah, he was the vice president when this lady, this whatever you want to call her, trying to keep it very family friendly, this whatever was put in as parliamentarian. Just to put it all in the context. Thank you, Cat T. Armor. I appreciate it. I've got your sticker actually over on my cabinet right over there. It's just slightly outside of the view. I'll have to move the thing that's blocking it so I can show it here. I appreciate you being a viewer. But I looked at the logo. I'm like, I have your sticker right there. What's happening, dude named Red? How you doing, man? I ordered something for you that I think you're really going to like. So obviously, I wouldn't ask you to say it publicly in the chat, but email me if your address has changed because I'm expecting it to arrive to me Monday. And I want to get that out in the mail to you next week. I kind of flashed something in a stream, and I'm like, dude, I think you really enjoy this. If you remember, like over a month ago, and I didn't get you that exact item. I found something I think you'll actually like a little more than that, if that makes any sense. But please email me if your mailing address has changed since the last time we've mailed you something, because it's been a minute. So, yeah, get a hold of Thune if you want to. I think getting a hold of J.D. Vance is good. Get a hold of your senator if it's a Republican. If it's a Democrat, well, I mean, you can, again, if you want to. But that's not going to really do any good either. Mateo says, I have several Cat T plate sets. Well, nice. Yeah, guys, Premium Body Armor Company in the chat, by the way. Are they pushing the HPA and Short Act? Yeah, I put an update video earlier today. Bad news on that. That's been nixed. That's been given the old X by the Senate parliamentarian. Yeah. Well, where are you guys at? Chime in the comments. Let me know what you guys are doing right now. Do you think emailing's a good thing to do? If so, if you were to take the time to send an email or a tweet or an X, do you think J.D. Vance is the tree you want to bark up right now, or John Thune? Because look, if you have the capacity to do both, do both. It's weird though. Like every time I say J.D. Vance, even in my video earlier, in my live stream tonight, people keep coming back with Thune, Thune, Thune. So why? What am I missing here? Because Thune is saying he's against overruling the parliamentarian. That's his statement. Vance has said nothing yet. Okay, and that's actually good. Vance right now, there's more hope in him because he said nothing. Now, if Vance comes out and says, well, I agree, I'm afraid of the Senate parliamentarian, oh gosh, and all this stuff, then we're even in a lot bigger trouble. We're in a lot bigger trouble than what we even realize. But Vance hasn't come out and said that. Now, look, I'm embellishing a little bit. Thune has never said the words, I'm afraid of the parliamentarian. That's just my opinion, though. It seems like he is. He's just said, oh, we must uphold long history and tradition. And if we do that, it'll open up this can of worms and all this. It's like, whatever. Look, here's the problem, man. There's trillions of dollars in this big, beautiful bill. This so-called big, beautiful bill sucks in so many ways. But like I've said the whole time, and I've been consistent on this, it's going to pass whether we like it or not. So we may as well finally get something for ourselves out of it. Why not? You know? It's always the gun owner. It's always the Second Amendment that ends up getting the shaft. See, we've been programmed and groomed to believe by Republicans too, actually, which sucks that like the compromise and when we win is when we just lose a little less. Well, hold on. This was a big win for the 2A because while they wanted to ban 10 things, the Republicans ferociously fought back and they only banned 3. What a monumentous victory. It's a victory because it could have been so much worse. Well, yeah, that is true. And more worse is worse than worse, obviously, but that's not a victory. The only type of law that's a victory for the Second Amendment is a law that repeals or removes gun control. Removes these NFA items. Silencer, muffler, short barrel rifle, short barreled shotgun, any other weapon. When you remove those from the NFA, that's a victory. Is it still the ultimate victory? No, but it's a start. It's a start. So this is already me compromising and completely abandoning being a Second Amendment purist. Because the problem is there ain't even a home for anybody in this current world that's a true Second Amendment purist. Because this would be the biggest victory we've had in 91 years, but keep in mind, they would still be GCA items. They'd still be regulated as firearms. It would still make silencers illegal more than they are now. More illegal than they are now in 16 or 17 states. So this is still somewhat of a Pyrrhic victory, even if we win. That's the thing. So trust me, guys, for those that are like, dude, man, you're asking for too much. No, like apparently asking for too much would be to actually follow the supreme law of the land. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I hope this can turn around. There's not much time left. I think we're going to find out sometime over this weekend. We're going to find out in this weekend what happens. Whether it's too late and they've just completely acquiesced to the parliamentarians' rule, opinion, advice, whatever you want to call it. Or whether they have the fortitude, and hopefully they do. Look, whenever I call these people out, I call them out as a challenge to hope they can do better. Now, not to have them do better because they're inherently good people in most cases, no, but to do better if maybe they're afraid they're going to lose their job. Maybe they're afraid they're going to lose some of their fundraising money, things like this. No, we call them out to try to get them to correct their ways and stop having a tyrannical government. But this weekend, we're going to find out if this woman gets by with all this partisan hack, or if the Republicans actually fight back. If Thune gets that little talking to, you know what I'm saying? There's kind of that thing once in a while where the kids are misbehaving and daddy grabs them by the ear and drags them off where it's a little quiet and says, very polite. I'm going to tell you very politely, but you don't want me to have to tell you again. You know that it's real hush. And the kid's like, ooh, yeah, I'm afraid of what might happen next. Oh, yeah. Of course I want to overrule the parliamentarian. Look, if that's going to happen, it's probably going to be this weekend. Now, then there's going to be the compromise. Even though I said the complete victory is still a compromise, if you think about it, the complete victory is these NFA items are still GCA, meaning Gun Control Act of 1968 regulated, still have to be put on 4473s. So trust me, that is the compromise already. Look, it's not radical to actually believe what the Constitution says. Don't ever forget that. And second of all, we're always the ones compromising. It's a huge compromise. It would make them illegal unless, in my opinion, no legal advice, unless you're already a stamp holder, it'd make it illegal to even buy a so-called suppressor in the future in Michigan if this goes through. And many other states. Just keep all that in mind. Now, the compromise they're going to call it, which this is like so pathetic, I'm actually going to be pissed if this passes. And I know I'm going to get some of you mad for saying this, but that's okay. We can still be friends. I mean, I can still be friends with you, in other words, if you can with me. They're going to say, well, we can just reduce the tax down to 0. But still keep these items on the National Firearms Act with the registry, with the permission slip for many of the items across state lines, making it difficult to transfer your lawfully owned property, making it tougher for people to inherit your property. The registry is the big deal because registration always has and always will eventually lead to confiscation. Many ways an NFA item has to be stored and treated differently in many cases. The fact that most people don't want to admit to this, but if you have a tax stamp item, they can. I know they seldom do, but they can come to your house and check on it. It's literally right there in the code, in the tax code, because that's where all of this stuff comes from the NFA as the tax code, but this parliamentarian says it's not a tax? Are you kidding me right now? It's not related to financials? It's literally only a tax, according to the Supreme Court and according to the legislators that wrote the dang thing in 1934. But they're going to say, well, the compromise we worked out is go Team Red. We worked out a compromise with the trifecta. We worked out a compromise. Why would you compromise with the minority when you're in the majority? That makes literally no sense. But that's what they tend to do. So there's a decent chance they'll come in and say, well, the tax is just 0, but all provisions of the NFA still apply. And I'm actually going to be mad if that happens. Because first of all, that's not any kind of victory I'm worried about. And second of all, it'll actually make it probably impossible to ever repeal it again on a reconciliation. Because then the argument would be, and it would be a much more germane argument, actually. Just think about this. Look, I don't think, if this doesn't pass now, I don't think we'll ever be able to repeal it again anyways, to be frank about it. But just let me argue in the contrary. Somebody might say, well, maybe we'll get it next time. Okay, hopefully, maybe. If they take the tax down to 0, okay, if they take the tax down to 0, then how could you argue in the future it's an unconstitutional tax when there is no actual money being paid? So it might sound like some kind of short-term gain. And look, I know there's people in the gun community that would be excited about that. Wouldn't excite me at all. It would actually piss me off if that happens. I know like less worse is less worse than worse, but I wouldn't even look at that as less worse. That's just so much of a whatever. It's beyond compromise. But that may be what they do. And they'll say, well, it was the only way. It was the only way to make it bird compliant and to get the parliamentarian to change her suggestion. So I don't know. Either the parliamentarian's going to get fired or overruled here real soon. Or she's going to just get her way and get to nix all of this stuff out of there and make it where we basically get a Democrat budget while Republicans are supposedly in charge of everything. But I say that kind of like real, like whatever, because I don't really know the difference half the time between a Republican and a Democrat. I don't know, man. I don't even know what the point in any of this is anymore. I guess the smartest thing to do is just to have one of these YouTube channels where you just tell everybody what they want to hear, because that's what people want. But see, I don't tell the truth because I want to just piss everybody off or because I'm a doomer per se. people that actually know me personally, my biggest weakness is I'm actually too optimistic usually. I usually try to give things too much of the benefit of the doubt. But I get it, man. All these big YouTubers have made tax stamps cool. It's cool to lick the boot. 2A EDU? I'm unsubbing from your channel because you only have 75,000 subs. And you said it's not cool to lick the jackboot and the kiwi polish off of it. But this other guy with 3 million subs says it's cool to buy as many stamps as you can. So he's clearly right. I'm sure they are. A lot of people get mad at me when I rip on the NFA, actually, because it's like, oh, don't do that because then you'll diminish my collection and my whatever. Like, I don't know. I could say a lot more about this. Maybe I will later. Maybe I probably shouldn't. In other updates, we reported on this channel 2 years ago in 2023 that Serbia had banned exports of arms, including rifles, ammunition, pistols, other things. Didn't last a terribly long period of time, and I don't know how long this is going to last. But the president, Vučić, I think is how you pronounce his name, has just unilaterally halted the export of all arms and ammo to everybody. Now, there's popular brands such as Zastava that some of you may be familiar with. PPU, that's Privy Partisan. They're actually one of the leading ammo exporters to the U.S. right now. Is there an ammo shortage right now? No. Am I predicting this Serbian export ban is going to cause an ammo or firearm shortage? No, I'm not predicting that at all. In fact, gun buying and ammo buying are down so much right now that I don't know when there's going to be any type of shortage. So no, I'm not predicting a shortage. However, here's where it is. It could, and I hope this doesn't happen, but there is a decent chance it could get people. PPU and so many instances are like either the only one or one of only a couple manufacturers that make some of your older cartridges. Now, there's small boutique places that'll make whatever you want, and that's awesome. Support your local business, shout out. But if you're just a guy that doesn't know any of these little small handcrafting boutique ammo places, and you just want to go online and buy yourself a box of, I don't know, 303 British, 75 by 55 Swiss, even 54R now. 7.62 by 54R is getting harder to find. A lot of times PPU is your go-to. Now, here's the deal. There's a lot of it in the country right now. A lot of it was bought up to get ahead of the Trump tariffs when those were announced, and then he took them off and put them back on. But he did. But like that whole thing's super complicated. But it did raise prices of imports on a lot of ammo. PPU is kind of a staple, and I will say, from many years of experience, it's good stuff. I have some of the 6.5 by 55 Swede right over there, next to, of all things, the M64 Yugo that's hanging right there. Now, that's an original barreled parts kit from way back in the day, milled receiver, early prototype. Like, that's the first, literally the first type of AK that Yugoslavia ever made. Zastava USA doesn't import that exact type anymore, is my point. But those style rifles, yeah. Look, if you're interested, guys, check out my recent locals post. The link's in the description. If you're interested in checking out more of that kind of stuff, check out my fairly recent X post. And look, I post all kinds of deals on stuff on locals every day, also on X. That's the way you can financially support the channel, totally free too. And I'm also looking up for you guys posting awesome deals on cool things that y'all probably like. Threaded for my pleasure. What's happening, man? Channel supporter, longtime friend of mine. How you doing, dude? Yeah, 765 Argentine he's adding, 763 Mauser. Dude, I have some 763 Mauser. Like to show you great minds think alike. Look, right here. Dude, if PPU didn't make this 763 Mauser, I don't know where I would have got this from. I mean, and there's a few other boxes of PPU right up there, but they're too close to that other thing hanging there. And if I even get within like a few minutes, or a few, like, not minutes, a few inches, I was thinking like minutes of angle. I had shooting guns on my mind, literally. You know, it's called minutes of angle. Anyways, if I get a few minutes, otherwise known as 1 inch at 100 yards away from that thing, they'll just nuke this live stream. But there's more PPU back there. The powers that be, the ghost of Susan Wiki won't allow us to see. Buddha appreciates my X feed. Right on, man. No, I sort through and post some stuff that's smoking over there. Dude, like if you go over to my X feed or my locals post, right? And go over to the one where it talks about the Zastava. How do I word this? From this place right here, that's, see, just past my elbow right there, that link that I shared over on X and locals, dude, they have the M72 RPK. And I literally have one right at this shop. If we were on censorship-free streaming, I could literally go touch it. But nobody watches those streams because people only like censorship, which is great. And that's why I'm still on YouTube right now, because everyone likes to watch censored too. But I wish so bad I could go grab a Zastava RPK, but I can't. But I waste all kinds of time on censorship-free platforms and nobody watches. So I'm still here for now until I get tired of this platform. And if you guys don't mind me being candid, I am actually getting really tired of this platform. So I'll be here as long as I'm here. And like everything in life, one day I just won't be. I don't know. That's not me announcing I'm ending my channel, but I'm being honest with you guys. I'm sick of this website. I'm sick of the crap that I'll go over there on censorship-free platforms where I could literally have showed you guys 35 Zastava things and I have 2 or 3 people watching. 2 or 3. But yeah, I'll be on here as long as I want to be. And then one day I won't be. And I still want to be on here just a little bit. But I'm being honest, just a little bit. Not really very much, though. I just got so frustrated right now that I'm on a streaming site. The second largest search engine in the whole world besides Google itself, which Google owns YouTube. I want to talk about this M72 RPK that as of right now is banned from export. Hopefully it doesn't last long. Not trying to panic anybody. Look, there's so much apathy in the gun and ammo market right now. It'll probably be a while before there's a shortage. But I'm looking at like 10 cool things I'd love to show. And I can't. I can't. It's like chewing your gum with the wrapper on, isn't it? Look, I'm not mad at you guys right now at all. Don't take it the wrong way. I'm not mad. I'm frustrated because I like you guys. You know, look, we just had like all this doom and gloom crap that needed to be talked about. Do you know how much I'd like to sit here and like just talk about and show some guns right now, man? That'd be a lot of fun. And that's why, to be perfectly clear, that's why I'm so frustrated and getting ticked off. Because I do like you guys and I'm seeing awesome people in the chat. And man, like, there's not a whole lot better hanging out with your buddies, showing guns and talking about guns, you know? But here we are. Maybe I just want a little bit too much. I don't know. Now, I was talking to a friend today. I'll just say his first name. His name was Randy. His name's Randy. Shout out if you're watching, man. We were all pissed off, all fired up about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, you know, communism's repulsive. Like, it sucks, man. Like, really bad. I knew exactly what he meant. Maybe you guys knew what he meant too. Maybe you don't get it. It's fine either way, whatever. But he's like, but there is something a little bit to be respected about living in a completely just despotic, communist, jackbooted country. There's one thing that me and him decided we were a little envious of. At least there you know what you get. You know everything's screwed, and you just know it. Here, it's like you're always getting carrots dangled in front of you. Well, if you call harder, you'll get this. If you call just a little harder, you'll get that. And trust me, I'm wasting more time than anybody calling and writing and traveling and walking the halls of the legislature. And I'm probably stupid enough to do it again. Don't get me wrong. I'll probably do it again. I never claimed to be particularly smart. I'm probably stupid enough to keep all of these frivolous fights up. But yeah, just when he said it, I'm like, no, dude, like, look, I get what you're saying, man. In a way, we were both just temporarily, like, we didn't truly mean it, but we both just kind of sat there for a minute. We're like, dude, we are kind of like a little bit jealous if we just lived in like Jack Buddhistan, per se, you know, some place that would have a name like that. Because you at least you know what you've got, right? And this is why I'm so frustrated. And I'm not frustrated because of you. Deb said, well, shout out. Have you tried Rumble? See what I mean, guys? I try. I try and I try and I try. Clearly, I'm not very good at what I do. Have I tried Rumble? That's a great question. If anyone would like to know the answer, check the links down there in the description. If you're still wondering, check the links down there in the description. No, I'm not on Rumble. Never heard of it. Never even heard of it before. Never heard of Rumble. Never heard of it. JC Plummet with a $10 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it, man. It says the former vice president said he would not pardon his son. Oh, wait a minute. He did say that. You're right. You mean with political pressure, the Democrats will actually yield to the... Oh, just keep the pressure up. Politicians have no morals. They will do what's necessary to keep their jobs. Yes, sir. And that's what I've been trying to say all night. And I appreciate your concise way of saying that. And thank you for the financial support. I appreciate it, man. That's right. He said he was never gonna... Where's Hunter? Remember, nobody knows. Where is he? Did you guys hear that Supreme Court justice earlier today? They call these people so many things, it's hard to even remember their names, right? But they call her many things. I think her name's Jumanji. Is that how you say her name, guys? I think they call her Jumanji. Remember, she was up in front of the Senate hearing not too long ago, and they said... It was actually the senator from Tennessee, Marsha Blackburn. Shout out to Tennessee, by the way. You're the only 10 I see. See, gotcha. I'm even flirting with you all from there. Only the good-looking women. But look, for all the good-looking women in Tennessee, you're the only 10 I see. Now, Marsha Blackburn's there, and she says, I have a question for you. She says, well, thank you for the opportunity to answer the question, Senator. Do you guys remember this? And she says, well, this is a tough one. What's a woman? And Jumanji's sitting there. She's like, what's a woman? I don't know. Nobody knows. How could I possibly know? She's like, what's a woman? And she's like, I'm not a biologist. I don't know. I don't understand the question. And she's like, what is a woman? And I'm just sitting there watching this. I'm like, who the heck is this? Where'd she come from? Where'd she crawl out of? You know what I mean? I'm sitting there, I'm like, who is this? Is this in America? Am I watching like, oh, wait, I must have the wrong channel. This must be, the interview for the Supreme Court of the Congo or something. I'm thinking to myself, you know what I mean? And I'm like, whoa, where am I? And I'm looking and she's like, no. Future Supreme Court Justice, what's one? I don't have a degree in anatomy and physiology. I'm just sitting there screaming at my computer. I'm like, an adult female person. Like, oh, the courts have been going crazy today too. Trust me. Big win for certain things. Like a lot of conservatives are very happy about the whole ruling that lower district federal judges can't do nationwide injunctions. This is a weird one, guys. Like, look, this is good news when it comes to a lot of this that's going on right now with these corrupt communist leftist judges. But I do have to say this gets rid of our Reed O'Connor, though. Remember several times when, like, boom, braces are banned. Judge Reed O'Connor comes in, nationwide temporary injunction on the pistol brace rule. Now it's gone further up and it's been vacated. So I don't think the pistol brace rule being vacated, I don't think that's affected by this new Supreme Court decision today. But, oh, you should have heard that Jumanji. She was going insane in her, like, these people aren't right. But it's that whole thing where it's like, and look, guys, if you want to call this Supreme Court thing a big win, you can. I'm not going to argue with you on this one. But I just want to throw it out there that there is, like, Judge Reed O'Connor. He's a federal judge in the Northern District of Texas. And he has single-handedly stopped, like, millions of people from getting their crap confiscated with nationwide injunctions against the former vice president's anti-gun ATF rulings. Well, it would appear, and we'll have to see, because there's a big loophole in it where they can still get around it anyways, but we'll see. But on its face right now, that would stop a good guy judge from putting an injunction in on a tyrannical government's rule, right? That would ban something. So that's something just to think about just a little bit. Friel23 with a super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Says the problem is stability, or I'd be over there. You're probably talking about Rumble, right? Yeah, the Rumble streams are tough. I get it. I've never been on Rumble before, so actually I wouldn't even know much about that, but yeah. Rod says, if you aren't preaching to the masses, you're preaching to an echo chamber. No, I agree. I agree, man. I hear you. He says, that's why I hate / love YouTube. Love YouTube. Drama means you're reaching unlike minds who need to hear you. I know. Oh, trust me, I know. Mitten State media voting has gotten us where we are today. What's the common definition of insanity? Doing the same thing but expecting different results. Oh, I know. I just literally earlier called myself a complete moron after I just said, like, see where all this calling and writing's gotten us so far? But I'll probably keep doing it, and I'll keep going to my state capital, and I'll keep trying to make a difference. At least I'm being honest with you about what could be perceived as a hypocrisy, right? I'm not going to say your last name because I don't want to dox you, but Hank, thank you for becoming such a generous Patreon supporter. Wow, $50. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you. I literally just got the alert, like it came right over my my phone off to the side because my phone will send me messages on my computer. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. Shout out. And we have Carlos came in just a few minutes ago with a Cash App. Thank you, Carlos. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you. And Red came in and said reciprocation never required. Tight times. No, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the generous Cash App. Thank you so much, man. And no, dude, like if you never sent me a cash app again, I just saw something because me and you are longtime friends. Let's face it, man. We've known each other a while, and it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you've been a supporter of the channel, but this was like totally separate from that. This is like we've had some disagreements, haven't we, Red? Like even like I wasn't so nice one time, even because whatever. But that's in the past. I'm on with it, and I know you are too. But no, dude, I've sat and had dinner with you and stuff, man, and I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Actually, probably never happened because we live halfway across the country from each other. But I'd like to do it again. No, it was just like I was showing something in my stream like a month ago, and then I saw something that was even cooler than that. And sometimes you just have that thing click in your head where you're like, that person just would really like to have this. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things. And that's how I am. But thank you for your support. I appreciate it. All right. Let me answer a few more questions here because look, with the contributions that we've had both here in the chat, yeah, there's only 6. So like we officially didn't reach our goal. But that huge Patreon support we got earlier, and then those couple cash apps, we're about at our 10. I talked about the DEA ATF merger just a little bit. That's terrible. All right. We don't want that. And now look, man, we'll call out Trump, but Trump's been pretty good on the 2A lately. Do I trust any of these people? No, actually, I don't. But Bondi, you know, I think the Senate's pressuring her right now too. She's getting lots of pushback. So I know there's just so much to focus on at once, right? I guess like try to focus on the HPA and Short Act, which means trying to talk them into repealing or removing, or overruling the parliamentarian. But also like while you're emailing or calling or tweeting or whatever, tell them you do not support a DEA ATF merger. That would be terrible. Before I keep reading some more chats here, Michigan news. Yeah, man, like the Republicans are still kind of just sitting there. Like, yeah. We saw 3 Senate Republicans in the state of Michigan come over and cross the old aisle, as it's called. They went to the other side of the aisle and voted for this bump stock ban, so-called, that actually like bans way more than just bump stocks. Here's the crazy part. By the strict definition, it doesn't ban bump stocks at all. But it's going to be construed, in my opinion, to ban all kinds of things. I have been hearing more and more, and this is unfortunate, that there's just no willpower right now for the leadership in the Michigan House, Republican-controlled House. Let me make this clear. Judiciary chair. There's just no desire or motivation or care to put forth any gun control repeal in the Michigan Republican-controlled House. Even though during the split legislature, Dems just passed sweeping gun control in the Senate. There's no will to try to turn stuff around and show us there's any reason that the Republicans in the Michigan House are different than the Democrats. Unfortunately, that's sad. Now, I'm not saying every rep doesn't want to. That's not true at all. And I should get another 1 or 2 Michigan reps on this channel soon, if they'll come on anymore, because I'm ripping on Republicans so much. But I think some of them get it. I want to have Jim DeSena on, actually, because those are his red flag. Representative Jim DeSena. Those are his red flag repeal bills. Maybe we can get behind him and get the Michigan Judiciary Committee Chair Sarah Leitner. Check out my recent post on YouTube here. It's called YouTube Post now. After calling it Community for like 10 years, now it's just called Post. But you can see a picture of her. You can, that way, if you want to go to her office and talk to her about the Second Amendment, whatever, it's got her phone number on there, email address, all of that. Trying to urge her to have a hearing to repeal gun control in the Michigan House, because the Senate, if they can do it, why can't the Republicans fight back in the House? Now, here's the other thing I've heard that's a little bit concerning. I've heard there are some Republicans that are pretty much on board with this so-called bump stock ban. That's the one I've heard a few times. Maybe a couple of the other ones too. Yeah. Look, 3 Republicans came over to the Senate and voted for that in Michigan. And I'm pretty darn sure, like, I'm not a betting man, but I'd bet on it. I'd bet on it that I have pretty good reason to believe there's some Republicans in the Michigan House that are probably wanting to pass some more of that. Now, will it see the light of day in committee hearings? Will it go to the floor? I don't know. So keep on getting a hold of your Michigan representative, your House of Representatives representative, and your senator. You know what's always amazing? And this is why I do this channel. And yet again, I'm always trying to teach y'all. I'll say, get a hold of your Michigan state representative and let them know that you don't want these bills that pass the Senate to see the light of day. And then you know what'll happen? They'll say, thank you, 2A Edu. I just called and wrote and texted and sent smoke signals and whatever. They paid a biplane to put one of those banners in the sky. That's all great. They'll say, to all of my Michigan representatives. I don't know, man. I try and I try and I try. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but clearly I've not said it nearly enough, so I'm going to say it again. In the state of Michigan, and I believe it's this way in all 50 states, you have exactly 1 state representative. You don't have 2 state representatives. You don't have 3. You don't have representatives. You don't even have representative. Count how many S's were on there. You don't have 2. You don't have 30. You don't have 100. You don't even have 1. You personally, that represents your district, you have 1 Michigan representative. The Michigan legislature is composed of 2 chambers. The lower chamber is the Michigan House of Representatives, in which you have 1 and exactly 1. Friendly homework assignment. Find out who they are. Because when you say you contacted all of your Michigan representatives, you've literally proven to me without knowing it, you have no clue what you're doing, and you're not doing anything at all. You're just like throwing something at the wall to see if it sticks to the sky or something, because you can't. You couldn't have called all your representatives because that's plural and it's not true. The Michigan legislature also consists of the upper chamber, which is the Michigan Senate. And you have 1 Michigan senator. Now, you can look at it that all of them represent all of us in a certain way. Sure, but that's actually not how a representative republic works. On your ballot, wherever you vote, you're only supposed to be voting with 1 ballot per time. Unless you're a Democrat, and then I guess you do what you want. But when they come up for vote every 2 years, you will have a choice to elect 1 Michigan representative. And then every 4 years, you'll have the chance, unless there's special elections, there could be a little bit different increments in there, but still, you never concurrently have more than 1 Michigan representative, and you never have more than 1 Michigan senator. Now, in the United States, you have a United States congressman. Only 1. That's it. And you will have 2 United States senators for your state. Your United States senators are who you're getting a hold of right now when it comes to trying to get Thune, but especially J.D. Vance, to override the United States Senate parliamentarian. If you're worried about the Michigan gun control bills, that's where you would be getting a hold of your Michigan senator, who does not work in Washington, D.C., or your Michigan representative, no S. I know it's tempting, but there's no S on there. I'm just trying to have fun, but it's hard, man. It's hard. Really, really trying to herd cats in so many instances. I'll do this big push. Blah, blah, blah. But 2A EDU. Who are the 3 senators that voted for the Dems? Go to your YouTubes right now and type in 2A space EDU. It's a channel. It's a great channel. Some people say it's even the best. Most people agree. Go there. Then under videos, some of you even pronounce it vidgets. Under your vidgets column, videos. Hey, I don't care what your dialect is, just saying. You'll go to this channel. Hold on, I'm going to show you guys how this works here. Because literally, I get asked these questions more than anyone could ever know in a million years. 2A EDU, I called all of my Michigan senators and all of my Michigan representatives, and I'm like, ooh, that's scary. This person doesn't know who they're calling. They're like, Senator, I got your number. And then they're looking at like the bathroom stall, and they're just dialing 867-5309. Like, who are these people even calling? It's like, I'm like, you called who? Somebody literally the other day is like, dude, we really have to push, like, put a stop to this. And they're like, ET phone home. And I'm like, well, they called ET. Okay, great. This is awesome. How much gun control are we going to get now? And here's the thing. I don't even blame any of you if you don't engage, actually. Just fly your Jolly Roger and say, screw it all. Whatever. I mean, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm the fool that will keep calling, though, and stuff. Hold on a minute. You guys will like this. Hold on. All right. Let's make sure. Okay, here we go. Go to the YouTubes right now. But 2A EDU. Name the 3 Republican senators that voted for gun control. All right, I thought you'd never ask. Because here's the deal, man. I'm busy. I work a lot. I own 2 small businesses, but busy businesses. You know what I mean? I'm a very small business owner. Too small, but I'm always running around working businesses. I got a lot of crap to do. This is not how I make my living. From all your generous support, I keep the channel going. Go to your vidgets right here. You will see. It was crazy, dude. See, 17 hours ago, Senate parliamentarian has ruled against HPA and Short Act and budget bill hearing. 5 hours ago, all these people are blowing me up. Did you hear 2A EDU? The parliamentarian has. Here, check out this gadgets and guns and gear and all these different. Look, I'm sure they're great people and all, but dude, go watch this video and they'll learn you. I'm like, 5 hours ago? 17 hours ago. Now, hold on. Go back to 2 days ago. Breaking. Michigan Senate has passed 3 major gun control bills. It's a 15-minute video. There's a lot there. I did not ramble. I actually have a video that I edited in from Great Lakes Gun Rights from Senator Bellino, who gave an epic floor speech. And I'm going to say this with a clear conscience. This is the most educational, thorough video on all of YouTube about this topic. And I know that to be true. It took me a long time to make this video. So if I spent hours of my life to put this 15-minute video together, because that's how it works, I'm sorry, guys, but there's no free lunch. Go watch the video. I mean, really, why would people ever expect me to literally like just tell me what's in it? I did tell you what's in it. It's in the video. Now, I could get it if people had never heard of my YouTube channel, but how have you never heard of my YouTube channel when you're on my YouTube channel right now? It's getting to the point anymore where every time you put out a video, there's 10 people going, well, what's the name of the 3 that passed? They'll put in the comment section of the video. It's like it's in the video. But I want the video to last 60 seconds or less. Well, first of all, this isn't TikTok. Go search TikTok for the 3 Senate bills that passed Michigan and how they did it. You won't find the information you need on that. But here's the crazy part. But 2A EDU, I have no time. I put this out at 6 in the morning. It's not even daylight out yet. Here's a short. This thing's like 59 seconds. Breaking HPA and Short Act ruled against by Senate parliamentarian. But 2A EDU, what happened today? Well, I did an 8-minute video. 9-minute video. But 2A EDU, what happened? I don't have 9 minutes. Oh, I got your back, bro. I did a 59-second video, but I don't have 59 seconds. Huh. You guys know what I'm saying. I mean, I'm actually trying to have fun right now. It's just like, whoa. I'm like, really? Look, dude, I'm not responding to you at all, man. Trust me. I like you, dude. It's just like, I get this a lot. And you just reminded me of a whole bunch of stuff that's been happening all day, for weeks, for months, for years. For years. I mean, so trust me, dude. Don't take it personal. If anybody wants to know the senators that voted for it, I call them out a lot of times in the live streams. When I want to, I will. When I don't want to, I won't. And it's in my library, and it takes me a lot of time to make those videos. But trust me, dude, I wasn't picking on you at all. I do this often. Somebody will say one thing, and just kind of like, trust me, tonight is not. So whoever it was that asked me about Rumble, dude, we're still like totally cool. I promise. If I had the people watching my Rumble videos, if I had 1/100th of them that have asked me I'm on Rumble, I might have time to do more. Mateo with another super chat, a channel member. What's happening, man? He says, where's the guy with all those assurances? Wow, this sounds like the so-called inside connections or their belt. Guess egg on the face isn't a good public look. Really? No, egg on the face isn't good. I don't know. I'm not even sure who you're talking about, and I don't think I want to know, really, but I can't even remember who it was now. So much since then's happened. Yeah, there was a time when people had assurances from insiders and said the parliamentarian is not even to be considered a speed bump. People have been on here saying we want it all. We already won everything. We'll see, man. Hey, we could still win. Don't get me wrong. Hopefully Thune can get pressured enough. Vance is the one that I would be getting a hold of. Really. I mean, get a hold of both of them. Why not, right? And look, I love the whole Bill of Rights. Do not for 1 minute think I'm suggesting anybody doesn't try to get a hold of Vance or their senators, or which includes Thune, and that's all. Of course. Like, I that's like one of the main things that are protected in the First Amendment. To petition your government, a redress of grievance, right? It's called. So heck yeah, man. My right's gone with a super chat and a channel member. Well, thank you. I appreciate the support. Says when we roll over to injustice, we have given up on life. Oh, I know, man. One seed planted can grow a strong tree. Many lives have watered that tree. Let's not let that tree die. Stand tall. One voice creates many. Well, thanks, man. And that's what I've tried to do here. Been trying to for a long time. And I know it doesn't go unnoticed. This may be the only 2A channel I've ever heard of, actually, that's actually read Thomas Jefferson's Tree of Liberty letter multiple times. Dude, they say like you're literally 3/4 crazy to even read that thing nowadays. Oh, don't read that. You're not allowed to read that. We've read it quite a bit on this channel before, actually. Look, when it gets to the point where you literally can't read your own founding documents publicly, then you've got a problem. You've got big problems, right? All right. Let's see if we have any more questions here. Jane Locke is saying good night. Well, hi, Jane, and good night, Jane. Any more questions or comments? Chime in, guys. I will hang out with you all for a few minutes. Answer any questions if you have them. JC says, I saw it on your channel first. And look, guys, I don't care. Please don't conflate that I was trying to race everybody to get to it. No, I had like an internal alarm going off because I knew it was going to happen in the middle of the night. And I just like get up and check on a few things. And then finally I'm like, whoa. So I hurried up and got going with the video. That's not it at all. That I posted the video first, which I literally provably did. It's just frustrating because I had some people dogging me. I don't see any of those people in the comments here tonight. So it's not any of you. I'm just literally telling you, like, why I'm kind of like teasing and taunting people that probably aren't even watching right now. But I've had people literally like even texting me and calling me today, being like, 2A Edu, you dropped the ball, bro. Like, you're the main guy that reports this stuff around here. And dude, like, Guns and so put out a video and like broke this news about how we just got screwed. Like, when's your video going to be? And I'm like, Guns and who? Dude, I'm running around freaking sleep deprived right now. I put that video out so early. So that's who I'm kind of like. I'm not even really being mean to him. I'm just kind of like pushing back just a little bit. So yeah, there's no like prize, and trust me, there's no prize of being like, oh, I was the first to report it. No, it's just I'm throwing that out there just kind of like as a little pushback because I've been accused all day long of not reporting on the parliamentarian. And I'm like, huh? So that's where I add in. You know what I'm saying, JC and others, guys. You guys know what I'm getting at. I'm like, dude, not only did I report it, but I was literally the freaking first one. And I don't want to say I've been quite chastised, but I've been kind of ribbed a little bit today. I've been given a little bit of a hard time from some people. And this is not in the YouTube comments. Because look, people that commented on YouTube, they know because they were watching my video or not, because some of the comments mean they didn't even watch 10 seconds of the video. Like, you guys got to love the classic YouTube comment. And it's probably all over YouTube, not just my channel. But they get right in there and comment and they say, what happened? ? It's like, really? Way to say you're irrelevant and you're literally an NPC without saying it. What happened? Watch the dang video. You'll know what happened. If you think the video sucks, type in there, this video sucks, and don't come back. But the classic, what happened? I got a few of those today. Tell me what happened. I just did, moron. In the video that you're commenting on that you won't watch. And even the title did a good job. But no. And trust me, if you're the guy that left me the tweet telling me about it, I'm not talking about you either, actually. I'm talking about people I know, like, in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, from around town and stuff. From around the state of Michigan. Texting me and calling me off and on throughout the day, being like, 2A Edu, what's up, dude? Go watch Gadgets or Guns or Gear or these different names you hear. I can't keep them all straight anymore, who's who. But go over and watch their videos so you can learn and you can do yours. And I'm like, what? I don't even know who these people are. But second of all, like, Brad says people are used to having information now, but I've grown too lazy to search Google for information now. No, you're right. It is like this whole paradox. People have to have it right now, but they're too lazy to actually look for it right now. The famous one I get is, but 2A Edu. Who's my state representative? That's an excellent question. Here's the crazy thing. So, look, a lot of you guys use alternative search engines. Shout out to you if you do. There's probably way better ones than this. I'm using Google Chrome on all this because I'm on YouTube, which is the Alphabet Corporation. And Chrome works better with YouTube because it's all part of the evil enterprise. I get all of this. But, okay. The second largest search engine is the YouTubes. The comment section, though, is actually not the search engine. And please leave a comment. I look forward to all of them on replay and reading the live chat over the weekend like I do. But if you like go right up to like your Google which is the #1 search engine in the world, and you literally type in, who is my Michigan State representative, you'll actually find the results. Isn't that crazy? You know what I'm saying, Red? Now, here's the problem, though, and I love to help people, and I do all this stuff to help people. But I'll do a video. It's 8 minutes long. It's 15 minutes long. Sometimes it's 30 minutes long. And when it's 30 minutes long, maybe I'm condensing stuff that took me like 12 hours to gather sometimes even more than that, actually. But whatever the case is, sometimes there's a lot to cover when they're passing 12 gun control bills in the middle of the night. But that's besides the point. They won't watch the video. Okay, well then don't watch the video. But why are you over here on the video? Like, dude, if you don't watch videos, don't watch videos. But why are you in the comments of a video? That's the first question. And they'll take the time to ask me, 2A Edu, who is my state representative? Now that sounds innocent enough, and I'll try to help people as much as I can. But it's like, no, dude, I put forth the hours of work, sometimes weeks of work behind the scenes to put out the product. I put it out once, hopefully thousands of people. And thousands of people often do consume it, enjoy it, get knowledge from it. That's the way it's supposed to work. And if one person once says, who's my state rep, then I have to come back and say, well, it all depends on where you live. Or better yet, just go to here. And then it comes down to, if you just type into Google, who's my Michigan State representative, you'll find the answer there instantly. And it's just the small little price you have to pay if you want to actually participate, right? Martin Edgar, channel membership, super chat, member for 6 months. Well, thanks for being a channel supporter. Says, you are great for Michigan and National 2A breakdown. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it, and glad that you get some good information from the channel. Thank you. Got to support my local people. Well, thank you. Do I clay shoot? No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm years ago, I've had a little bit off and on, but I'm not very good at it. So no, I do not clay shoot. But there is a shotgun that I really, really wanted. I posted it over on Locals yesterday about it, and I was going to buy it, but literally I was so busy like obsessing over when this parliamentarian was going to rule, and I knew it was going to be the middle of the night, that I slept on it, and it went up $20, but I still might want to get it anyways. It's this whole conundrum now in my head. That was a long way of answering, no, I don't shoot clays. And you'd laugh at me if you saw me do it, because that's something you have to practice at. V Metzger, what's happening, man? How you doing? Says, I heard that Serbia suddenly cut off. Welcome to the stream. Obviously, you came in halfway through, which is awesome. We definitely talked about that tonight on this channel. So if you want to know my take about this, feel free to check the title of the video. Let's see, what's the title of this video? Breaking HPA and Short Act updates. Serbia, Zastava, PPU, ammo ban. Go on the YouTube to check out the 2A Edu channel. Look for that live stream. I'm messing with you, but no, just rewind, and we definitely talked about that. But other than that, no, I haven't heard anything about it. 2023 is when it happened, though, last time. And I did a video on that, I believe, as well. I think it was 2023. Lyle Smith says, you broke the news at 5:30 a.m. I know. No, it's just been happening to me all day, everywhere I go, no matter what. I want to answer a few more questions, but it's time for me to end this stream, because all people are doing all day today is asking me if I've covered things. To my own chagrin, to my own detriment, to my own sleep. I'm probably not going to get my jobs done this weekend. I've been covering way too much. And none of my viewers even have any idea of anything I'm covering, because I've been asked many, many times today, often, if I knew about things that I've covered today. It's been a lot of time covering. Do AEDU, why haven't you done a video about the Hearing Protection Act? I don't know. Never heard of the Hearing Protection Act. I've never heard of Serbia, guys. Michigan Senate gun control. Never heard of her. Never heard of the state of Michigan. ATF, have no clue who they are. I don't even drink. What else can I tell you guys real quick here? Just, yeah. There's no reason to ever come to this channel and ever watch it for anything. I've never even talked about the Hearing Protection Act, and I never will. I've never talked about gun control in the state of Michigan, and I never will. I don't post like totally awesome deals on locals and also X quite a bit on stuff, so don't even go there because there's never any good deals there. Yeah. And the earth is flat. The earth is flat. I mean, I don't know, man. Right, Mateo? That's almost as bad as someone proclaiming that the burger or the parliamentarian is not anything to worry about. Ooh. Yeah, that is. I mean, Egorizer, what's happening, man? Came for the Tori. The Tori is. And stayed for the info. Nice to see you, man. What's happening, DLD After Dark? How you doing? He says, 2A Edu, why have you done a video on my video about doing a video on a video about the HPA? I'm going to have to look into the HPA. I have no idea. And, dude, I totally believe this, Mike McClune. What's happening, dude? Like, you can ask Mateo if you don't believe me. I've been talking to him lately, and, dude, Mateo called all this. I told you guys this in the last stream. He's like, dude, we're just going to get the bone, like, period. I'm like with a little meat on the bone? He's like, no, you're just going to get the bone, you know? I'm like with this whole HPA and all this, he was right. But I told him this the other day. I was sitting there, and I'm like looking at the American flag, and I'm looking at the Jolly Roger. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. This is how a lot of my fellow 2A acquaintances, we'll just call some of these people. You guys are my friends, but these other people, we'll call them acquaintances. Some of my acquaintances, they'll say, well, here's how I vote. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by its toe. Okay, you guys follow me, right? But a lot of them do the whole thing. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And I'm like, whoa, what a novel concept. I'll definitely vote like that, no matter what. You have me sold. Well, I was doing that the other day. I'm talking to Mateo on the phone. And Mateo's basically the undisputed heavyweight champion of the black pilled movement of my friends I talk to. Big old championship belt for it and everything. So I'm sitting there doing this. I'm on the phone with him the other night, and I'm like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And he's like, ooh, you have my attention. I'm like, catch a tiger by its toe. He's like, dude, are you early voting? I'm like, no. I'm just looking at the Jolly Roger flag and the American flag, and I'm being very diplomatic about which one, which one I believe is most germane right now. He's like, oh, wow, interesting, And then I look up at the sky, and I'm like, you know what, dude? I think the moon is even fake right now. I literally think it's a big projection screen. I don't believe we ever landed on the moon. Sputnik, all of it. And I'm looking at this moon. You know what I'm saying, Mike? And I do like cheese. That's why I bring this up. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, dude, this thing has got to be so fake. Why? Well, because I thought it was literally provable it exists, and I've been taught my whole life it does. Now, look, the fact that I have been taught my whole life it exists is the very reason I said, I bet you that SOB's fake up there. Because I was taught that, the Second Amendment was a real amendment, and I was taught that here in America, Congress makes laws, and we have a Senate, and I'm now learning as this is all collapsing right in front of me with this parliamentarian ruling over us, that well, I guess really the Senate is only the second in command of the parliamentarian. Now, look, they can overrule her. We'll see what happens. I hope it's what happens. I hope they overrule. Thune says they won't overrule. We'll see. But I'm looking up and I'm like, Dude, this has got to all be fake. Everything's fake. So there you go. The moon's made of cheese? No, it's not. It's just a hologram. There you guys go. It's just a hologram. Right? Good night, Bill Alexander. Somebody said Kurt24 was in the chat. Where's he at? I saw someone at Kurt24. Good night, Red. Take it easy, man. When my crazy shows up to rant the chat. Did I get a little too ranty tonight, guys? Answer me that before I get out of here. What shotgun did I want to purchase? Here's the problem, man. We can't really promote this stuff on YouTube, but I posted about it like on Locals and X recently. It's like convertible and stuff. You know what I mean? I'd like to tell you guys all about the deal, but I can't here. But that's why you want to follow me on Locals and X. What's happening, Lucky Dog? How you doing, Lucky Dog 350X? Oh, wait, what's this? My right's gone. Just gifted 528 Edu Channel memberships. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the support. And if you guys remember when I was finishing doing that Michigan Senate video, I'm like, all right, I got to go cut like a tree branch or tree branches, however I worded it, and like dodge the rain. I did do that. And for my channel members and Patreon supporters and local supporters, it's on all three. Go check it out. You can see, like, I showed you guys pictures of it. Ended up being half of a tree that I cut up, right? Not that you were like really interested in seeing it or anything. It was just like kind of funny. Because at the end of the YouTube video, I'm like, oh, I got to go cut a tree or something. Man, lots of good chats tonight. If I didn't answer your chats, I will definitely be reading them afterwards. So thank you. Wait a minute. What's this? Oh, I agree. Garen Wilson. Oxygen is not real either. Yeah, obviously. It's just a paper moon? Maybe. I would buy that for $1. Yeah. But no, like, you guys might think I'm joking, but I literally said that to Mateo on the phone. I don't know if he's awake still to vouch for that, but I literally said, dude, that moon is so fake. I just, like, blurted it out. Like, why not? You know what I mean? Somebody that's new to the channel is like, this guy's nuts. Now, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Good to have you here. You're working tonight too. Jeez. Oh, yes, I did. Yes, sir. I said, Mateo, that moon's fake. He says, I am the undisputed heavyweight champion and current belt holder. Big old shiny belt too. He showed me a picture of it, of the Black Pill movement in the 2A EDU chat. And I said, wow, geez, at least it's a champion that actually is consistent to what he accomplished for once. That would be great. That's good. That's a good thing. But I'm like, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Dude, this moon is so fake. It just has to be fake. And he's like, oh, shut up, man. This is gibberish. And I'm like, dude, it just looks so real. That proves how fake. You guys know what I'm getting at, though, right? At a certain point, you're just like, huh, I don't know. Do I use Still or Husqvarna? Well, I've actually owned both brands over the years. I've owned lots of different small engine lawn equipment. Doing this for, I guess this is my 25th year doing landscaping. I'm currently using a Husqvarna trimmer. I've got a couple of their string trimmers. I've had their saws, their backpack blowers. I still right now have a Still hedge trimmer, but for most of my jobs, I've actually been using my Greenworks Pro 80-volt electric. Now, for big wood, there's gas saws, but yeah, I posted that in that post, a picture of it. And then I have this little handheld, like little 6-inch saw, and it takes Makita batteries. Like the saw itself is like some Kung Fu brand, off-brand, little 6-inch one-handed saw, but it takes genuine Makita batteries. I have tons of Makita 18-volt cordless tools. So yeah, that's what I did to do that whole job, and that's what's been cutting it for most jobs. The birds are fake. Yeah, birds are not real. You guys knew that, right? Birds are all just little, like, drones. Yeah, the penguins and flamingos are stealing all this fake air. No wonder I have asthma. Well, you've got your answer there. J-Flow, what's happening? Says, switch to 40-volt Ryobi, right on. Yeah, that Greenworks Pro saw I bought wasn't exactly cheap. And look, a lot of you guys are probably like just homeowners that do stuff like around your house. Maybe some of you guys are pros. But I've heard lots of good stuff about the Ryobi for homeowner use. And you guys tell me, because trust me, I'm not dogging on your Ryobi. I've heard it might not be commercial grade, but it might be. Yeah, almost all of you guys have 40-volt Ryobi. The 80-volt Greenworks Pro is like, it's just substantial. It's got like a regular, aluminum handle on it. And I don't know how to explain it. But I have been hearing lots of good stuff about these little Ryobis. For 18-volt, look, I have a couple 80-volt Greenworks items. And then all my 18-volt or 36-volt, it's called the Makita 18X2. So you put two 18-volt batteries, turns it into 36. Like my little leaf blower, my handheld leaf blower, the Makita, technically 36-volt. That's awesome. Here's the thing, though. It's really 40 volts. It's just a marketing thing. Makita calls theirs 18 volts, right? Because it consistently puts out 18 volts, where a lot of other companies call it 20 volt asterisk max. The Makita 18 volt batteries will still register 20 volts when fully charged, just like the 20 volts. So a little piece of trivia for all of you. Makita, being more of a professional brand, they're actually conservative on how they rate, where a lot of the other brands kind of not really necessarily inflate, but they rate theirs on the high end of the voltage. So Makita, maybe to their own chagrin, has rated their stuff more conservatively, or you could argue more honestly over the years. Because I've had a lot of people tell me stuff like, dude, your blower's only 36 volts, mine's 40. It's like, no. They're both 40 volts equally. It's just, after you're running that 40 volt battery for a while, okay, it's going to go down to where it's reading less than 40 very quickly. Makita likes to rate their stuff at the actual mean time voltage rather than when it's fully charged and for that first split second. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure some of you do. A top handle saw, Husqvarna? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool, man. Like I said, I've owned a lot of Husqvarna stuff over the years as well. A lot of it's good. I'm really big into Red Max blowers. I bought some of the Chicom stuff in a pinch too. A lot of it's been junk. Some of it's been okay, right? With a clutch like a gas hole, like a centrifugal clutch. Interesting. YT Sparty. I hate cordless, no power. It depends which cordless you buy, though. Okay. Like that 80 volt Greenworks I have, it's got quite a bit of power. Yeah. Wolf says it's a ball. No, it's an egg flying through space. I don't know what it is up there. What's happening? N8IWS 484. Why is it giving me all of like the numbers and stuff at the end of some of you guys' accounts tonight? How you doing, man? No, I know you missed the beginning, Vince. I was messing with you a touch, but I wasn't even really messing with you. It was kind of a joke maybe before you entered the chat tonight. Now, I've had a lot of, like I said, stuff that had nothing to do with even anybody in here whatsoever. Just people texting and calling me, 2AE to you. Why aren't you reporting on the HPA? I'm like, I'm tired. Why are you tired? Stop being. I'm like, dude, I'm tired because I stayed up all night to report on the Hearing Protection Act and Short Act getting nuked by the parliamentarian. That's all right, though. A lot of you guys enjoy my videos. And as the old saying goes, no deed goes unpunished. Hey, we'll see what happens, guys. This weekend, we'll probably know more. I hope they overrule it. I really do. Like I started off this video, this parliamentarian crap's got me ticked off. And I know it does a lot of you too. And like, I'm in a good mood. I'm here hanging out with all of you. But hey, some stuff's pissing me off. I kind of say it once in a while. Yep, it's all about the batteries. My right's gone says, have a blessed night, everybody. May the good Lord give us tomorrow. Every day's a new day. Never let it go to waste. I agree with you, man. And thank you for the support and encouragement. Thank you for all of you guys in the many ways you help support the channel tonight, both financially or just encouragement, hanging out. And I hope this live stream gave you guys all a chance to vent, hang out, talk, whatever together. There she is, my friend Lori DeVries. How you doing, Lori? Nice to see you. Young Plug coming in. What's happening, man? My Flat Rock friend, right? That's you, isn't it? Flat Rock, Michigan? Right on, man. Yeah, I worked at Flat Rock Schools for quite a while. That's my old stomping grounds, believe it or not. Which is one town over from our favorite state representative, Jamie Thompson. You know what I'm saying? We have the same state rep. And yeah, maybe we can get together and hang out sometime. I don't know when, because all I do is work too much and I don't even have time for friends, but you seem like the type of guy I'd like to meet someday. Hopefully we can hang out. J-Flow, very educational. Well, thank you. Dude, I just told you guys the earth is flat and the moon's fake tonight, right? I mean, somebody's going to come in here like literal. You guys might need to. One last thing before I jump off. I might need a couple of you to come back like in a couple days if you just have 10 seconds, you know? And just check on the chat for me if I need some help. I just thought of that. There literally might be people that are watching this for the first time. And if they are, welcome. Glad to have you here, you know? But they might be like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? He literally just said the moon's completely fake. The world's flat. What else did I say tonight? I think I even, in a roundabout, look, it was a totally backhanded way, but I think I even very sarcastically complimented Democrats tonight. You know, like, so somebody, I might need like one or two people just to check up on me in these comment sections, because I know what's going to happen, dude. If I saw some dude saying some of the stuff I said tonight that was like completely out of context, I never met the dude before, I'd be like, whoa, who is this guy? Like, I thought he was on our side. And he just said like the earth's flat and he's sailing his pirate ship till he falls over the edge. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. And he's like being mean to people and everything else. No, I'm not being mean to people. I'm being nice to these people on here tonight. Actually, that's my problem. I think sometimes I'm too nice, you know? No, I'm nice. I'm nice. Oh, wait a minute. It's a YT Sparty. I contacted Stephanie Chang. Ooh. Good old Cambodia Chang. She didn't get back to me. I plan on attending one of her coffee house things. Oh, if she's your senator. All right. Well, good luck changing her mind. But no, that's your right, man. Go there and give her the old redress of grievance. You know what I'm saying? Mallory McMorrow. Wow. Wellness check. I mean, you know. What's happening, JC? I hope I can get on here and give you guys some good news in the next 24 or 36 hours or something. Look, I can't always break the news first. I have literally like a big deck to stain tomorrow and 2 big lawns to cut over this weekend. So I might, you know, look, I'm not always first, trust me. But I'll try to keep you guys up to date as much as I can. If something happens, I just kept on rubbing it in. You guys know what happened, right? I kept rubbing it in that I was the first to report it because like a bunch of friends of mine in real life were accusing me of not reporting it. I'm like, thanks, JC. Lyle Smith, Second Amendment is fake. Ha ha ha. Now that is actually an ironic comment because you and I don't think so, but the parliamentarian does. Oh, look at this. Shady Tree Mechanic. It's mostly flat. Mostly peaceful protests, mostly flat, right? Welcome to the channel, right, Vince? How you feeling, Vince? Are you feeling good, man? Are you doing all right? I don't expect you to give up too much of your personal details on YouTube, but are you doing all right, man? You feeling well? I hope you are. Healthy? Getting back to shooting again, I hope. They don't give up. They don't get up till noon. I mean, dude, I'll try to give you guys good news. Like, I really will. I like good news. Oh, yeah. No, I believe everything's in God's hands. I really do. That's very true. Okay. I was waiting for Vince to respond, and that's what I wanted to hear. I wanted you to tell me the truth, obviously, but that's what I wanted to hear. Says he feels great and's had some good laughs tonight. Well, since you're feeling good, let us know when I know it might take you a little time, kind of thing, whatever. Take your time, do what you got to do, but let us know when you can get some more magazine status loading updates, right? Let us know how many mags you're loading for your. Oh, wait, you're back to shooting again. That's good. Good. Awesome, man. You're already like way ahead of me. M. Gabriel, how's it going? Nice to see you. Well, I just got an alert from 7-Eleven and said you won $5,000 with no strings attached. Yeah, I doubt it. I doubt it. There's no way. Lori says, enjoy 2A EDU as a reliable place to go to find like-minded people in this crazy world. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're all crazy, but hey, at least we're having fun being that way, right? All right, guys. I need to go get rehydrated and get ready to do a bunch of work this weekend. And I will see you guys all again soon. All right. Thanks for watching and have a good one. There we go. I know how to turn this off, I promise. Look at this guy.